Hello folks, Spynie Ruins, indeed, yes. I didn't even know what I was going to talk about until I actually was just about to get out of the car. There's a few things I can talk about. What God was showing me the other day was an interesting point, that if we're living according to Him, if we're living according to being a child of God, son of God, daughter of God, there will be no decay. We will stop getting older. Why? Because decay is part of this world. So if you're no longer of this world, you're no longer, in the rules of decay. So therefore you won't get older. Because that's all about death. That's all about first Adam. What first Adam inherited basically from that question that Lucifer asked. Did God really say you would die? What they inherited then by saying, well, actually, good point, we're just going to do it, was death. Death then came in. And everything we consume, everything we have dies. All this, it dies. If left, it will die. Grass goes a more yellow colour, then it goes a more whitey sort of colour, and it just dies, doesn't it? It goes brown and dead. Because it has a certain amount of life. It decays. It gets older, it decays. We've got somebody coming here, two people actually. But exactly, these two people have got older. Their body has been decaying basically ever since birth. Because they get born into the first Adam. And when you get born into the second Adam, there's no decay there. Because second Adam is heavenly. Heavenly means there's no decay, right? So if there's no decay, well then you can't get older because there's no decay. But you have to stop living according to the flesh. That's the thing. 1 second. No, that's the point. You can live according to the flesh, or you can live according to God's will, God's ways. But God's will and God's ways are according to heaven, not according to this. This world system is all about death. Well, as I say, just look around you. You see, walk around town, you'll see people with children, very, very young children, infants. Sort of children that have just been born. They start off, but even then, at that point in time, they've already entered that system. There's only one way, really. If they continue in that system, there's only one way. They're going to get buried, eventually. Right? Well, that got me thinking. The Church of Latter-day Saints, they believe that John the Apostle never died. That's one of their beliefs, but they also believe that there was a time when there were no Christians on the earth, and that's why Joseph Smith was needed. Right, again, if John the Apostle never died, then how could there be no Christians on the earth? But let's look at the point, could John the Apostle still be alive today? Yes, of course. Because if you're living according to sonship, according to being a son of God, and if you're living that way, if you're not living according to the flesh, if you're no longer of this world, but of the kingdom, then yes, you will not decay. So he would have been an old man when he wrote Revelations. He would still be that age now, if he was living according to the kingdom. Because basically he went to heaven. So because he went to heaven, you would assume that maybe he was living according to being a son of God after that. Okay, if that's the case, then yes, he could still be alive now. But is he? No, I don't think so. The reason why I don't think so is because it's not impossible. If you've been alive since then, you've seen all the wars, you've seen all the death, you've seen all the famine, you've seen all the plagues that have hit the earth, and the devastation that those things have brought. Would you want to still walk the earth? I think you'd get to a time where you say, Lord, that's enough. take me up, please. That'll do. I don't want to see any more of this now. Yeah, it's pretty dark, so I've had enough of this now. Can I come home now, please? Fair point. Yeah, I think you probably would have done it. Yeah. So, yeah. But when I was in the car, what was God talking to me about there when I was just about to get out? Well, I've done a lot of videos talking about the church, and especially talking about the church that I've been in recently. And of course, it's been a lot on my mind about what's going to happen to churches like that as we start moving forward and the children of God are revealed. Well, go back a bit. When the charismatic church started, there would have been people in the religious churches, in the C of E and Church of Scotland, Church of whatever country, those incredibly religious churches. There'd have been people in those churches that would have wondered the same. Those churches still exist. They do. So, it's going to be a case where you're going to have, at the lowest rank church will be the religious churches. Then you'll have the charismatic-y type of churches. The churches that believe in the gifts of the Spirit. Pentecostal, Baptist, Methodist, all that sort of stuff. And then you'll have the children of God. And they will all coexist. And they won't want to work with each other. Well, basically, the children of God will be happy to work with the rest. Yeah, but the rest will be looking up saying, oh, we don't want to work with you because you think you're better than us. There will be a lot of that. Of course there is now. The religious churches don't really want anything to do with the charismatic churches, do they? Because they feel the charismatic churches look down on them all the time. And so they should, because the religious churches are below them. Because they are. Yes. So that sort of stuff is just going to continue. That's the reality. It ain't going to stop, is it? No. So there you go. Well, that's basically it for this video. There's not really much more I can say. There's nothing more that God has given me, so I've given all that God has given me to give. As for children of God, Romans 8:18 to 23. So verses 18 to 23. That's where you find all of that. That's where you find the stuff that all these trees, all the grass, all the woodlands, all the creatures in here have been crying out for the revealing of the children of God. So, yeah, there you go. Right, there you go. I'm going to leave you to it. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.